Opening hook. The silent shift you didn't see coming. Have you ever had a morning where something just didn't feel right? No injury, no pain, no bruises. But something about standing up felt slower. Something about bending over felt heavier. You pause, half confused, half curious, and ask yourself, have I always moved this slow? What you felt wasn't just fatigue. It could be the first whisper of something far more serious. Right now, millions of Americans over 60 are losing muscle mass without even realizing it. It's not always visible. It doesn't always hurt. But it's happening, quietly, meal by meal, habit by habit. And by the time everyday movements like climbing stairs or carrying groceries start to feel difficult, you may have already lost more strength than you think. This isn't just part of getting older. It's a condition with the name sarcopenia, and it's robbing people of their balance, independence, and quality of life. Not suddenly, but steadily. Now, here's the part that surprises most people. Some of the foods you eat every day, maybe even the ones you thought were healthy, could be speeding up this muscle loss. And that's what we're here to uncover. In this video, we'll reveal 5 everyday foods that may be sabotaging your strength, even if you're eating well and staying active. But more importantly, we'll show you what to do about it, with practical swaps, easy explanations, and science-backed choices that protect your energy and independence for years to come. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's begin by understanding exactly what sarcopenia is and why the food on your plate might be your strongest defense or your quietest enemy. Part 2. White bread and refined flour. Why soft isn't safe. Let's start with something familiar. It's a calm morning. You're in your kitchen. You reach for the soft, white loaf on the counter, maybe toast 2 slices, spread a little jam, and enjoy it with your coffee. It's a comfort, a habit. It feels harmless. But here's the truth. That harmless toast may be quietly working against your muscles. White bread and most foods made with refined flour undergo heavy processing. During that process, they lose almost everything your body actually needs. The fiber, the B vitamins, the natural minerals. What you're left with is a fast-burning carbohydrate that acts like pure sugar the moment it hits your bloodstream. And here's why that matters. That sudden spike in blood sugar triggers your body to release insulin, a hormone designed to pull sugar into your cells. But when this happens over and over, day after day, it creates a chronic, low-grade inflammation. And inflammation is like rust. It weakens your body quietly, corroding tissue and making it harder for your muscles to recover and grow. Even worse, those sugar swings make it harder for your body to absorb and utilize protein. So even if you're eating enough chicken, eggs, or beans, your muscles may not be reaping the benefits. Your body is too busy fighting the sugar roller coaster to focus on building strength. Let's bring this home with a simple comparison. Breakfast A, 2 slices of white toast with jam, sweet, soft, familiar. Breakfast B, 1 slice of sprouted grain bread topped with a poached egg and avocado. Both meals may fill you up, but only one of them stabilizes blood sugar, delivers fiber, protein, and healthy fat and supports your muscles instead of draining them. Now, here's a common mistake. Many people swap white bread for multigrain or wheat bread, thinking it's healthier. But look closely. Unless it says 100% whole grain or sprouted, many of those options are still made with enriched white flour. It's health washing in disguise. Small lesson, big impact. Every meal is a choice not just for taste, but for your future mobility. Your body builds or breaks muscle based on what you give it. Refined carbs? They burn fast, feed inflammation, and fuel weakness. Whole grains? They nourish, protect, and help you stand taller literally. And the good news? You don't need to give up bread or pasta. You just need to choose smarter. Coming up next, we'll look at something that might be sitting in your fridge right now. It's sweet, natural, and often labeled healthy. But this breakfast drink could be delivering more sugar than a soda and silently working against your strength. Let's talk about fruit juice. Part 3. Juice versus whole fruit. The fiber trap. Now let's talk about something that feels even healthier than bread. Fruit juice. You've seen the labels 100% juice. No added sugar. Maybe even packed with vitamin C. It sounds like the perfect way to start your day. And for many people, it's a daily ritual. A glass of orange juice with breakfast. It feels natural, wholesome, even smart. But here's what most people don't realize. Juice is not the same as whole fruit. Not even close. Let's compare. When you eat one orange, you're getting sugar. Yes, but also fiber. You chew. You slow down. That fiber slows digestion, giving your body time to respond, adjust insulin, and manage blood sugar. Now take that same orange and multiply it by 4. That's how much sugar you'll find in a single glass of orange juice without the fiber to slow it down. It hits your bloodstream fast. Your insulin surges to respond. And within the hour, you crash. Tired. Foggy. Worse, your muscles are caught in the middle. Why? Because these repeated sugar spikes and crashes promote chronic inflammation, the same type that breaks down muscle tissue and slows recovery. Over time, this roller coaster makes it harder for your body to build strength, no matter how much protein you eat. Real-life case. Meet Margaret, 68. She's active, walks daily, eats clean but kept losing strength. Her doctor found she was pre-diabetic. The culprit? A glass of fruit juice every morning, believing it was good for her heart and immune system. But in truth, it was stressing her metabolism, draining her muscle performance little by little. The body doesn't treat liquid sugar like natural sugar. And when it comes in without fiber, it becomes a metabolic burden. Worse still, fructose, main sugar in juice ice processed in the liver, not the muscles. Excess fructose becomes fat, increases inflammation, and contributes to fatty liver, especially common in seniors who don't even drink alcohol. Here's the fix. You don't have to stop enjoying fruit. Just keep it whole. Even better, try smoothies where the pulp, skin, and seeds stay intact. Blend an orange with frozen berries. Add chia seeds for extra fiber and omega-3s. Or, if you just want something light in the morning, go for water with lemon, cucumber slices, or unsweetened herbal teas. Refreshing, hydrating, and no sugar spike. Takeaway. Juice may look like health in a glass, but when you remove the fiber, you remove your protection. What's left is sugar, and sugar, even from natural sources, can quietly chip away at your strength. And if you've been sipping your juice thinking you are helping your body, you're not alone. But now you know better, and that means you can do better. Because next up, we're talking about something even more deceptive. A food that's packed with protein, but still harming your muscles from the inside out. Let's look at processed meats and why not all protein is created equal. Part 4. Processed meats. Protein with a price. If you're trying to eat more protein as you age, that's a smart move. But not all protein is created equal. And one group of foods often disguises itself as healthy, while slowly harming your muscle strength. We're talking about processed meats, things like bacon, ham, sausage, cold cuts, and even those vacuum-sealed, low-fat turkey slices in your fridge. They're convenient, familiar, high in protein. But let's look closer at what's really inside. What makes it processed? Unlike fresh meat, processed meats are preserved through smoking, curing, or adding chemical compounds like nitrates and nitrites. These preservatives extend shelf life and keep the meat looking fresh. But once inside your body, they convert into compounds called nitrosamines, which are linked to oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is no small thing. It's when unstable molecules called free radicals start damaging your healthy cells, muscle fibers included. Over time, this weakens your muscles from within. It slows recovery, makes you feel fatigued after simple activity, and gradually, it shrinks your strength even if you're eating enough protein. Deceptive labels. Many seniors try to eat better by switching to low-fat options. Turkey slices, lean deli ham, high-protein bacon. But don't be fooled. If it comes pre-packaged, cured, smoked, or sliced thin with a 3-week expiration date, it's still processed. And it's not just the preservatives doing harm. Processed meats are also high in sodium, which dehydrates your muscle cells, saturated and trans fats, which narrow blood vessels and limit oxygen flow to muscle tissue, and fillers or starches, which reduce the actual protein quality, the absorption problem. Let's compare. A grilled chicken breast offers complete amino acids, no additives, and supports muscle repair. A ham sandwich might contain 15 g of protein, but half of that could be incomplete or poorly absorbed, thanks to processing, preservatives, and poor bioavailability. So while the number looks good on paper, the benefit to your muscles? Not so much. The bigger lesson. When it comes to muscle health, it's not just how much protein you eat. It's what kind. Processed meats may save time, but over time they cost you energy, recovery, and resilience. What to do instead? Swap deli meat for whole cuts of grilled chicken, turkey, or lean beef. Try wild-caught salmon, sardines, or mackerel-loaded with omega-3s that fight inflammation. Boiled eggs, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, and nut butters also give your muscles what they need without the chemical baggage. And remember, every bite is either fuel or friction for your body. Choose what helps you rebuild. Because next, we're diving into something that may surprise even the most health-conscious. A leafy green that's loaded with nutrients, but when eaten raw too often, might be silently holding your muscles back. Let's talk about spinach and the oxalate trap. Part 5. Raw spinach. When superfoods backfire. Spinach. It's green, leafy, packed with nutrients. It's in salads, smoothies, and just about every list of superfoods you've ever seen. But what if we told you that eating large amounts of raw spinach, especially every day, could actually work against your muscle strength? It sounds counterintuitive, but let's look at what's really going on inside those deep green leaves. The oxalate factor. Raw spinach contains a naturally occurring compound called oxalic acid, or oxalate. It's not toxic, but it can be problematic in high amounts, especially for older adults. Oxalates bind with minerals like calcium, magnesium, and iron in your digestive system. Once bound, your body can't absorb them. They pass right through you unused. And that creates a quiet but dangerous deficit. Without enough calcium and magnesium, you may feel muscle cramps. Fatigue sets in faster. Recovery after activity slows down. Your body needs these minerals not just for bones, but for contracting, relaxing, and fueling your muscles. The bigger risk. Over time, those unabsorbed oxalates don't just disappear. They can accumulate, especially in your kidneys. High oxalate intake is one of the leading dietary causes of kidney stones. And since the kidneys play a major role in electrolyte balance, that affects your muscle performance too. There's another issue. Oxalates can interfere with adenosine diphosphate, ADP, production of the key processes that your muscles use to create energy. When that cycle breaks down, you may feel exhausted, even after light effort. The common mistake. Many health-conscious adults blend raw spinach into smoothies every single day, thinking they're doing their bodies a favor. But without cooking or rotating greens, the oxalate levels can quietly rise. If you've ever noticed lingering muskelsoreness, frequent cramps, or even mild back or side pain, a sign of kidney stress, your green smoothie habit may need a second look. Here's the fix. The good news? You don't need to give up spinach. Just cook it. Lightly steaming or boiling spinach can reduce oxalate content by up to 40%. And discarding the cooking water removes even more. Better yet, rotate your greens. Try kale, romaine, arugula, butter lettuce. They're all lower in oxalates, rich in nutrients, and much gentler on your muscles and kidneys. And if you're making smoothies, try blending a mix include avocado, cucumber, or frozen cauliflower to add creaminess and minerals without the oxalate overload. Lesson learned. Even the healthiest foods have their limits. Balance beats obsession every time. Spinach can still be a friend to your body, but only when used wisely. Next up, we're taking a closer look at one of the most cherished daily rituals in America. A warm, energizing cup that's part comfort and part muscle disruptor. Let's talk about coffee and what it might be doing to your strength. Part 6. Coffee and cortisol. Energy or erosion. Coffee is more than a drink. It's a ritual. The aroma, the warmth, the comfort. For many, it's how the day begins and how it keeps going. And in moderation, coffee can offer some benefits. It's rich in antioxidants, sharpens focus, and may even support brain health. But there's a side to caffeine that doesn't get talked about enough, especially when it comes to muscle health in older adults. Let's break it down. The cortisol connection. Caffeine stimulates your central nervous system. It wakes you up, but it also raises cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol isn't all bad. It helps regulate metabolism and manage energy during stress. But chronically elevated cortisol, especially from daily repeated caffeine hit scan, quietly erode your muscle mass. Why? Because cortisol has a catabolic effect. It tells your body to break down tissue, including muscle, to provide quick energy, a survival mechanism that worked great thousands of years ago, but not so much with modern stress and modern habits. So while you feel alert for an hour, your muscles are being signaled to degrade behind the scenes. The mineral drain. Caffeine also acts as a diuretic, meaning it increases urination. With each trip to the bathroom, your body flushes out water. Yes, but also key minerals like magnesium, calcium, potassium. These aren't just nice-to-haves. They're essential for muscle contraction, recovery, and energy metabolism. Without them, muscles cramp faster, fatigue sooner, and heal slower. The sleep sabotage. Even more quietly, caffeine disrupts deep sleep, the stage where your body repairs tissue, restores hormone balance, and rebuilds muscle. You might fall asleep just fine, but the quality of that sleep? Interrupted. And over time, poor sleep leads to lower levels of growth hormone, a key ingredient in maintaining and rebuilding muscle as we age. Real-life example. Consider James, 72. He enjoys 3, sometimes 4 cups of coffee a day. He wakes up tired, needs caffeine to function, and complains of old age stiffness. But his real issue? Not age. It's a cycle of dehydration, mineral loss, elevated cortisol, and incomplete muscle recovery. And it all starts with that 3rd or 4th cup of coffee. What you can do instead. You don't have to give up coffee completely. Just be intentional. Limit it to 1-2 cups in the morning, ideally after breakfast, not on an empty stomach. Skip caffeine after 2 p.m. to protect your sleep cycle. Switch to green tea, which contains less caffeine and more L-theanine, a compound that calms without sedating. Or try herbal teas like chamomile, rooibos, or ginger in the afternoon and evening. They hydrate your body while supporting mineral balance and digestion. Lesson to remember. Coffee isn't the villain, but over-reliance on it, especially later in life, comes at a cost. Your muscles rebuild during rest. They thrive on hydration, and they respond best to a body in balance and no on edge. Coming up next, we're going to pull all of this together and expose the real underlying enemy behind these foods. Not just sugar, not just additives, but chronic inflammation, and the way it quietly chips away at your strength over time. Let's connect the dots in the next section. Part 7, the inflammation metabolism loop, the real enemy of muscle. By now, we've looked at several foods and habits that may seem unrelated. White bread, fruit juice, processed meats, raw spinach, coffee. But here's what ties them all together. They each fuel low-grade, chronic inflammation. This is the real, invisible threat to your muscle health. It's not dramatic like an injury. It doesn't come with alarms or sharp pain. But over time, inflammation reprograms your body in a way that quietly undermines your strength, your recovery, and your ability to stay independent. What exactly is chronic inflammation? Think of it like a slow-burning fire inside your body. Unlike acute inflammation, which helps heal a cut or fight a virus, chronic inflammation never fully shuts off. And when it lingers, your body has to shift priorities. Instead of focusing on rebuilding muscle, restoring energy, or repairing tissue, it stays stuck in defense mode. That means protein isn't used for growth, it's redirected to manage damage. Hormones become imbalanced, reducing the signals needed for muscle synthesis. Recovery slows, fatigue builds, and strength silently erodes. The loop no one talks about. Here's where it gets worse. Inflammation affects how your body processes nutrients, especially carbs and protein. That leads to blood sugar spikes, which cause insulin resistance, which in turn fuels more inflammation. A vicious cycle begins. You eat refined carbs or processed foods. Your body spikes insulin and stress hormones. Inflammation rises. Muscle breakdown accelerates. You feel more tired, so you reach for sugar or coffee. The loop repeats. This isn't a theory. This is how sarcopenia accelerates silently, not through age alone, but through daily choices and metabolic stress. How to know it's happening to you. Your body is always speaking. The question is, are you listening? Watch for signs like unusual fatigue after normal activities, muscle cramps, or weakness, not explained by effort. Sleep that feels unrefreshing. slower healing, or stiffness in joints and muscles. These aren't just aging. They may be your body's way of waving a red flag. A picture worth considering. Imagine two people in their 70s. One walks daily, cooks simple meals, sleeps soundly, and enjoys gardening. The other sits more, eats more processed food, drinks juice and coffee daily, and struggles with stairs. Same age, same potential, but their internal state, their inflammation, their nutrient balance, their muscle recoveries worlds apart. That difference doesn't come from genetics alone. It comes from how they feed or fight inflammation every single day. Small changes, big shifts. The good news? You can interrupt the loop by changing what's on your plate, what's in your cup, and how you listen to your body. You create a new pattern, one that supports healing, strength, and clarity. And that starts with knowing what to add, not just what to remove. So in the next section, we'll give you clear, realistic food swaps and a better way to build meals that support your muscles without overwhelm and without giving up everything you enjoy. Let's take a practical look at what to eat instead. Part 8. Real food, real fix. What to eat instead. Now that we've uncovered the hidden muscle-draining habits, the natural question is, what should I eat instead? The good news is, you don't need to eat perfectly. You just need to eat intentionally. It's not about restriction. It's about swapping foods that drain you for those that sustain you. Let's build your muscle-friendly map. Here's a simple list of smart swaps you can make starting today. Refined carbs. Swap for whole grains like oats, quinoa, sprouted bread, or brown rice. Fruit juice. Replace with whole fruits, or blend them into fiber-rich smoothies with skin, pulp, and seeds. Processed meats. Choose grilled chicken, roasted turkey, wild salmon, or lentil-based dishes. Raw spinach every day. Rotate in lightly steamed greens like kale, bok choy, or arugula. Multiple cups of coffee. Scale back to 1-2 cups, and swap later cups for green or herbal teas. These aren't sacrifices. They're upgrades fuel for strength, stability, and long-term independence. 3. Sample meals that support muscle strength. Let's paint a real picture of what this could look like across your day. Breakfast. 1 slice of sprouted grain toast, topped with avocado and a soft-boiled egg. Side of berries. 1 cup of coffee or green tea. Why it works. Protein plus healthy fat plus fiber equals stable energy, muscle protection, and less inflammation. Lunch. Grilled chicken or lentil salad with arugula, tomatoes, cucumber, and olive oil vinaigrette. Side of quinoa or sweet potato. Water with lemon slices. Why it works. Whole proteins plus anti-inflammatory greens plus minerals for electrolyte balance. Dinner. Baked salmon with roasted broccoli and carrots. Half cup of brown rice or wild rice. Warm cup of chamomile tea after. Why it works. Omega-3s support muscle and joint health, while fiber and minerals aid in recovery and sleep. Keep this in mind. You don't need to overhaul your entire kitchen. Just make one better choice at each meal. Muscle health doesn't come from perfection. It comes from consistency, from knowing what drains you, and choosing what fuels you again and again. In the next part, we'll explore how to pair these nutrition changes with simple movement to maximize your results and keep your muscles strong, steady, and working for you, not against you. Because food is only part of the equation, let's talk about movement and recovery next. Part 9. Rebuilding strength. Nutrition plus movement. We've talked a lot about food, and for good reason. Nutrition lays the foundation for your strength. But here's the truth. Food alone isn't enough. To truly rebuild muscle, especially after age 60, your body needs a second signal, a reason to grow. That signal is movement. Specifically, resistance training. What is resistance training? It doesn't mean lifting heavy weights at the gym. Resistance training is simply challenging your muscles in small, intentional ways. Think, standing up and sitting down slowly from a chair 5 times in a row. Using resistance bands while seated to stretch your arms or legs. Climbing stairs with control instead of speed. These movements tell your muscles, this tissue is still needed. Keep it strong. Keep it active. And when you pair this with the right nutrients, especially protein and minerals, your body responds by rebuilding, not breaking down. Why timing matters. Did you know that moving shortly after eating can actually increase how well your muscles absorb nutrients? When you move, your blood flow increases, sending protein and minerals directly to your muscle cells. Your body becomes more sensitive to insulin, helping to manage blood sugar and reduce inflammation. You recover faster, stay steadier, and feel stronger meal after meal, week after week. The 20-minute rule. You don't need a personal trainer. You don't need a gym membership. And you definitely don't need to work out for hours. What you need is this: 20 minutes, every day, or even just 4 or 5 days a week. That's all it takes to see real change, often in just 6 to 8 weeks. Improved balance, more confidence when walking, easier stair climbing, less stiffness and fatigue. The big lesson: muscle doesn't come back just because you eat better. It comes back when you use it, even gently, even slowly, but consistently. So ask yourself, can I do 5 chair squats today? Can I stretch my arms while holding a light can of soup? Can I walk 10 minutes after lunch instead of sitting down? These are not small efforts. They are signals to your body that you still want to move, lift, live in your terms. And that's where the real strength lies. Next, we'll wrap up this journey with a message of hope, because no matter your age, your muscle story isn't finished. Let's talk about what it really means to age strong and why it's never too late to begin. Part 10. Final reflection. It's not too late to get stronger. If you've made it this far, take a moment, not just to process what you've learned, but to recognize something deeper. Your body is still listening, even now. Even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, it's still responding to every choice you make. And the most powerful message you can give it is simple: I'm not done yet. Because strength isn't about lifting heavy things. It's about walking across the room without pain, rising from a chair with confidence, reaching for your grandchild without hesitation, living without fear of falling, of slowing, of fading. And that kind of strength, it doesn't come from perfection. It comes from small, consistent decisions made every day. Today, you get to choose. So here's our gentle challenge for you. Choose one thing. Just one small change starting today. Swap your morning juice for a smoothie with real fiber. Walk 10 minutes after lunch. Steam your spinach instead of eating it raw. Cut back 1 cup of coffee. Swap white bread for something that actually feeds your strength. Because every small decision adds up. Meal by meal, step by step. You are building the foundation of how you'll feel weeks, months, even years from now. Help someone you love. If this message helped you see something differently, please consider sharing it with someone you care about. Maybe a friend, a spouse, or a parent who's been feeling unusually tired, sore, or frustrated with their body lately. They might not need a doctor. They might just need the right information delivered with care. And that's why we're here. Together, let's make aging not just something we survive, but something we do with strength, clarity, and pride. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're just getting started. Thank you for watching. And remember, your strength is still within you. All you have to do is feed it.